off ever.
Oh, that's because you told me to continue.
Yeah, remember we don't go on.
I was
So
like, do I stop here?
one of the things that you do really, really well is you really nail the 5/8 and the 7/8, the lifts on the 5. Would you agree, everybody?
Mm.
The 5/8 and the 7/8 are really excellent. I don't think that you're giving us much in the way of beat hierarchy, in the sense of showing us where strongs and weaks are. It just seems like every beat's pretty much the same space, the same weight. The other thing that I would really like you to work on is breathing with the ensemble. Because you're a percussionist, this is not something that you necessarily need to do. Can you just, so I want you to do just he is alpha and omega.
Yeah, I did take a breath there.
I want you to breathe the entrance for us. I want you to make it bigger. I want you to make it more, because we're not seeing, are you seeing a breath? I didn't see a breath, so I want to see it drop into your body.
On the entrance or
Yes.
at the very end?
And I want you to do one other thing. I want you to show me he, alpha, mega. Show me some strong beats and weak beats.
Oh,
Okay? Just do he is alpha and omega. He, do it again. We didn't see the breath to begin, which is why we didn't start.
Okay.
He is alpha and omega. Do it again. Do it again. Do it. It's a 4 pattern, yeah? Breath, bring us in on 2.
Okay.
He is alpha and omega. Cool. So omega, me and ga look identical, and we want it. Me, it needs to definitely be bigger than ga. Yeah. Do it one more time. Memorize it. It's just 2 4 4 patterns in a row. Eyes up. Look at us.
Okay.
He is alpha and omega. Better, better, better. So what we're seeing is the meg is here, but everything else kind of stays the same. So I want you to really practice seeing how you can differentiate within the pattern. I think a key for you might be thinking, how would you show the difference between a 12-inch stroke and a 4-inch stroke? I think you've got that already in your repertoire of possibility. You just haven't translated it well. The last thing I would ask you to do is look at this. There's a lot of this going on when you're conducting this with your chin. See if you can figure that out. Cool? Thank you, everybody. Give her some love. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world. Start again, Blake. Start again. You got you're really low and you're like this. We're not going to sing well like that because you're not modeling good posture. Get that. Even if your eyes are down, that's fine, but at least get your chin up. I'd raise the stand if I were you. Your body map allows you to get away with a little higher. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega. He the source, the ending, He of the things that are that happen, and that future you shall see. Evermore and evermore. So the difference between your effective 5/8, 7/8 gestures and your ineffective ones are just huge. Because I could tell when you were thinking about it. You nailed the second one, the he, the source, the ending, he. The first one, gan to be, and then the 5/8 were less effective because I don't think that you're audiating the pulsing eighth note, yeah?
Mhm.
You also started with this real pull-away gesture, almost like you weren't confident that we were going to sing for you, but you kind of fixed that in the middle as well. Did you notice that, kids? We started out, there was a real jerkiness to it, and then as soon as you settled down and fixed it and just trusted that we would sing, we sang for you just fine. Would you do this for me? Another thing that you do really well is you're still. You're still. Your body's really, really at peace. I think you're still trying to conduct from your elbow. Can you just conduct a circle for me? Just go. Instead of an in circle, can you do an out and up circle? of the Father. And can you imagine you're conducting from your elbow? Just everybody sing of the Father's for him. So you're not thinking patterns, you're just conducting music. Of the Father's look at us. Begotten, ere the world began to be. Look at "gan" to be. That circle's got to be slower. Ere the world. Don't just make a circle. Conduct the music. Ere the world began. You don't know what you want, neither do we. Ere the world began. So if the circle's uncomfortable for you, what I'm asking you to do is just do vertical beats or circles right now. Right now the patterns are continuing to take up a lot of your hard drive. And so you're thinking about patterns, and we're not being musical because we're not thinking about accents and am I wrong? It looks to me like you're thinking a lot about which direction the beat is going, which is a starting point. We want to get past that so that you can go, ere the world began to be. So you can start to show us what's important. Cool? All right. Give him some love. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, he is Alpha and Omega, he the source, the ending, he of the things that are, that have been, and that future ye shall see, evermore and evermore. Do evermore and evermore, and actually release.
Okay.
It was at some. We just didn't know what you meant where the release was. Breathe with us. That'll help as well. Just do evermore and evermore.
By breathe, like, what do you mean by breathe with you guys?
More. The release corresponds with the ensemble breath beat that sets up the next entrance.
Okay. So let's start at evermore then?
Yep.
Okay.
Evermore and evermore. Oh, that, yeah. You just remember guys, releases are not the only thing that's happened on. You're also establishing the new tempo. It's the prep gesture that sets up the next entrance. You have to breathe with the ensemble because the breath is the music that will be. Cool? So a lot of nice things. I want you to look at.
Is it the outwards?
It's better than it was. You remember how pronounced it was last time? You still got kind of a reach out. So when your elbow hyperextends and you get your arm all the way out here, your gesture becomes less effective.
Yes, sir.
Bring it in. Use this space more, this space less. You've got a very, very vertical approach, which is what I've advocated before. You've got to the point now where you can start to take some of the verticalness out of the gesture, especially on 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Cool? Mm-hmm. A lot of good stuff. We can clearly see you audiating the threes and the 7/8 and the 5/8. Good. You can still use more beat hierarchy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, you left your...
Oh, you can bring it to me because you're a good man. Braxton, good work. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, he is Alpha and Omega, So you're using a ton of vertical space. The top of your gesture is like at your nose, and it's here. I would expect that to be more the space that you might use like fortissimo. Since this is like mezzo, can you see if you can accomplish some of the things that you're doing so well, but just put them in a smaller package? That is, so just do this. Because you're kind of reaching down, I really want you to be sure not to reach below your belt line. Okay? Just do, he is alpha and omega, which is arguably the loudest thing we're going to sing. And just put it up. He is alpha, and only cover, maybe let's go from clavicles down to belly button. Don't reach outside of that box. Just sing, he is alpha and omega. Do it maybe with weight as opposed to space. He is alpha and cool. Do that one more time, everybody. If you see him punch that beat, you've got to punch it with him. He is alpha. Stop. He is alpha. You've got to make it short. If he makes it short, otherwise, singing for him doesn't help. You know the music. You look at him. See what you see. Do he is alpha? He is alpha and okay. So here's what we're seeing. Flip, flip, flip. We're seeing a flick. We're seeing a wrist and a real quick gesture right on that. That's going to violate that. Can you do it with weight as opposed to with speed? Cool. Do it again. He is alpha and omega. I want you to look at that, and I want you to look at that speed change on that sudden quickness right at the impulse. I'm not sure that that's the best way to create the accent within that context. I think a dead beat might be a better tool. I like your use of space the second time better. Yeah? Give him some love, everybody. Of the Father's. Do it again.
Right.
Of is two, yeah? I see this a lot, everybody. And I think everybody has done this. Great eye contact, then do just the opposite.
Okay.
You look at the score, got to bring him in on B2. The most important time for the ensemble to have our eyes is when we begin it, was when we initiate sound. Yeah? So do the opposite. Look down, know what you're going to do, then bring us in on B2. You did a double prep. Don't conduct beat 1.
Oh.
Just scratch it out if it weirds you out.
No, that's cool.
Breathe, bring us in on 2. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, he is Alpha and Omega. He the source, the ending, he of the things that are, that happen, and that future years shall see, evermore and evermore. Cool. Got a great legato. What happened in that first half when our patterns didn't line up? Who should change, you or us? You should change?
Us. Hey? Or would it, no, I think it is. No, it would be him, right?
That's a really great question.
It's us.
Well, I don't know. There's not an answer to that. My suggestion is it's easier for you to come to us than it is for us to come to you. Because if you're on beat 3 and everybody in the room is on beat 2, or I think it was the other way around.
Yeah, he was still in 3.
Yeah, I think it's easier for you to come to us, especially if you know what it's supposed to sound like. Remember, the patterns are constructs. Don't feel like you have to give us beat 4 if we're not on beat 4. Do this, David. He, the source, the ending, he. I just want you to be intentional to breathe with us on beat 2. Just do it like you were singing it. He, the source, the ending.
Wait, you said breathe on beat 2?
Breathe on beat 3 of after he.
Okay.
He, the source, the ending, he. Cool. When you breathe with us, it's just exponentially more effective. There were a couple times that you cut us off, but you didn't breathe with us. It's just so much more musical and more effective for us. Good. Lots to like, David. You're going to like your video. Of the Father's love begotten. Stop. You need to get it together.
I'm sorry, my voice cracked. And
Okay.
stuff.
Get it together. One of your conductors is taking their midterm exam.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega. He, the source, the ending, he. Of the things that are, that have been, and that future ye shall see. Evermore and evermore. Super intentional. Really well done. Hey, do evermore and evermore. And don't kill the resolution. More. You really just crush the heck out of it. You don't need to. Remember, make that as every bit as. The time is one of the least important aspects of that. Obviously, it has together. Obviously, we want to cue it together. But don't over cue it, because then it takes away all the musicality. Evermore. Evermore and evermore. Yeah, much more artistic. Much more artistic. Well done, sir. Well done. Well done. Well done. So much to like. I'll let you look at your video. The only thing that I would say is sometimes I think you have a tendency to conduct everything just a little bit too far away from your body. And the only problem with that is it creates this hyper elbow extension that doesn't help you on beat 3 and 2. Bring it in just a little bit so that you've got a little bit more spaciousness on 2 and 3 without violating the body mechanics. And that just the start of that is here. Are you seeing what I'm talking about, everybody? It's just everything's just a little bit away from your body. You can play more with me gestures, especially on something like this that's intimate. That is a we own this. This is my sound. Yeah, as opposed to this is kind of a
They sound.
yeah. It's a kind of a bigger. It's kind of a different. Da 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 da. Of the Father's love. Let it be here. Let it be your sound. Cool. Good work, sir. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega. He, the source, the ending, he. Of the things that are, that have been, could tell. We could tell. So there's a lot you need to work on, okay? There's a lot of subdivision going on. You're not breathing with the ensemble. We're not sure. Patterns, obviously, are taking a lot of your mental work right now. We're not seeing much in the way of hierarchy. I think you're pretty much underprepared would be the best way to state it. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, you got your work cut out for you. Hop up there, Mr. Aesop. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega. He the source, the ending, He of the things that are, that have been, and that future years shall see. Evermore and evermore. Couple things I'd like you to work on. Rounder, give me more of a hug right now. You're collapsed, and we're seeing the subdivision at the top of each beat. You're defining and mark that. Let it float. So so you're not showing us that subdivision. Remember, the only time to subdivide is when, everybody?
Asymmetrical meter.
Asymmetrical meter, and what else? Tempo issues. So for example, you have like a retard. 1, 2, 3. Other than that, avoid subdivision. It's going to take away from the line. It's going to take away from the connection, the legato. Cool. Show me. Just conduct a 4 pattern for me. Cool. I see you literally tapping the top of each beat. The goal for you is to get away from that. 1, 2. It's there, but you don't need to put any wrist motion in. You might consider conducting with a rock again. Remember, was that helpful for you when you put the rock in? I did you guys a favor.
Is it a bunch of rocks?
It's a bunch of rocks.
Look under your chair.
I cleaned them and I ran them through a polisher, so they should be, well, they're not like super sexy, but they're at least relatively clean.
There's nothing sexier than a smooth rock.
I've thought that for a long time. I'm glad somebody else does too.
Paleontologists say it every day.
Which is why they can't get a date.
Right.
Okay, could you conduct that for me? Of the Father's love. Take out. Feel like you're connected. Like this is the sound. Literally the sound of the Father's. Of the Father's love begotten. Cool. So patterns are still taking too much of your time, too much of your brain. One of the hardest parts about this exercise is one of the reasons I give it to you right out of the gun is you've just got to invest time in memorizing patterns. It's difficult for us to direct music when we're thinking about which direction our hand is going. Can I get an amen? Yeah. If you are still struggling with that, all that tells you is that you're not spending enough time outside working on your patterns. You can conduct 4 patterns. I'm going to go back and forth between a 4 and a 3. You can do this in your car. You can do this in the shower. You can do this while you're doing other. You want to get to the point where the patterns are not at the top of your brain. When you see a 4 pattern, you know what a 4 pattern is going to go in which direction the beats are going to be. Yeah? Okay. Thanks, sir.
Other exercises.
Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is our I've got two things I want you to work on, Josh. Can you put that in your armpit, okay? And I want you to hold it so that your elbow's away from your body, not flap straight down. The other thing that I want you to work on is you are doing you were doing something that I do from time to time, and I don't want you to have my bad habit. You're breaking your wrist back and holding the stick like this with your wrist here. That's going to create tension. It is tension, but it's like a break of the ick-tie. It's like your energy kind of gets sucked into right here. We need to get your wrist longer, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this real quick. I'm just going to strap you to the wrist thing. Hold that with your one hand.
This?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And your goal is to not press that stick into your finger. Okay? Sorry, it's going to be a little tight. Just for a little bit. Okay? When you conduct, remember, your wrist is where? Your wrist is, it's got, yeah, it's for you, it's got to be way up here. Because as soon as you think of it back here, you're going to start conducting with that as your ictus. Remember, you want the lowest part of the pattern to be fingertips where you're holding the baton. Okay. Just do other father's love.
Okay.
Why out? Why am I giving you that in your armpit? What are you doing right now? Yes. So Josh, just take your whole hand, just instead of trying to give somebody a handshake, pick up an object, pick up a penny off of the table.
Okay.
That's for you, because remember, with your slight body map, you're going to constantly struggle to get an ensemble to really dig in and get the sound.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be wider than your colleagues. You know, if somebody's got a rounder body type, they can just do this all day, and the ensemble's still going to sing around. You're going to have to figure out how to master this, the sound. Give us some of the father's love.
Okay.
Of the Father's love begotten. Good for you. So for you, in general, you're going to need to use more horizontal than some of your colleagues. Get rid of the ball. Maintain the space. Elbow up. Yeah, reach. There you go. Yes, right. Everybody, can you give him a love? Yes. Just lifting that elbow 4 inches just creates a totally different perception of the Father. Yeah. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be. Immediately. So those two things for you are going to be money. Those two things, connecting the wrist so that you don't have that kink, if you will, in the sound. Oh yeah, fuss.
I'm not fussing.
Give him some love, everybody. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega. He the source, the ending, He of the things that are, that have been, and that future years shall see, evermore and evermore. Yeah, really well prepared. Good for you. So I think that you could benefit from some of the same things that we worked on with Josh. You have a tendency to have a pretty down elbow too, but it's not as pronounced as Josh's. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Part of it's just body map, part of it's just she's just got more of this. It's natural, yeah? You also are doing a little bit of the flick on the top of the ictus that we were watching Isaac do. I want you to try this and see if you can take the flick out. You don't need to define the ictus. Remember, the ictus is not an issue of you saying here. It's simply an issue of stopping direction. That's a better ictus than this. Why? Confusion,
There's probably
Confusion.
about two.
confusion, right? Tick, tick. When everybody changes direction at the same time, it's clearer, counterintuitively, than, here it is. Do it now, man. All that this is going to do is make some people go early and some people go late. Right? So, ba-da-ya-da, and I'm not on the right beat, but you get the idea. So to do that, I want you to explore and experiment with a piece of tape or this or something. I'm going to try to unkill you.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I don't want you to hold it, I want you to let it be flat against your wrist, yeah. So some of us have a tendency to break it, and that's gonna create that same sense of there being a stoppage right here. Let that wrist be an extension of the top of your arm. Two places to look for straight lines, everybody. Bring your hand along the top, lift that wrist. The more you wrist it, the more you're creating a tension, a kink in the sound, a kink in your energy. The other one is run your hand along the back. It's gonna be pretty straight. You might see just a little bulb where that muscle goes. But if your hand is doing this, like you're trying to create a line here, that's danger, danger, danger. Okay? Let this be an extension here, and let this guy be an extension of the top of the arm. Conduct of the Father's love, just that opening line. See if you can take all of the kinks, all of the definitions. Just stop the gesture at the bow note. Of the Father's love begot. Cool, I'm seeing blink, pink, pink. Pink, just remember float, Sarah.
Okay.
Cool? Lead with your elbow. Of the Father's love begotten. Cool. Now she's nervous, right? You can see. But okay, so many things to like. First of all, you're super well prepared. You know exactly what you want. This is helpful for you in removing that. You get the clarity of the ictus without the speed change that says we want separation, which destroys the legato. Yeah? Which is ultimately the goal. What happens when we flick, everybody?
Different interpretation of Eychaner.
It changed specifically what? What does this flick on the pulse say?
Oh, accent.
It talks about an accent versus separation, which on this we don't. This is just fundamentally a very, very legato. Yeah? Cool. Good work. Good job, folks. And it says that it has recorded, so this is good.